Okay, so I wanted to do a video on bitless bridles because there's a lot of confusion and misinformation out in in the internet, on YouTube. So I'm just going to do a brief overview, and if you have any questions or you want to see how anything is fitted to the horse's head, let me know. None of these are evil. It's just the hands that hold the reins that make the difference if it's good or evil, if you want to be dramatic. Alright, so just like with bits, there are bitless bridles that act off of leverage, and there are bitless bridles that act off of the nose, and they have no leverage. So we're going to look at things in terms of leverage and non-leverage. And just like a snaffle, you want to start a horse bitless without leverage first. If you're riding the horse in the snaffle and you want to go to a shanked or a hackamore that has leverage, if the horse is really soft in the bridle and you're really good at riding off your seat and leg and not your hands, you can definitely experiment, but generally less is more. So you want to make sure that the horse is soft and going nicely in a hackamore without leverage or a snaffle bit before you go to a shanked hackamore or a hackamore with leverage. So let's take a closer look. Everything on the left, I have a side pull and a rope halter, which are examples of bitless bridles without leverage. I also have a Micklem combination bridle, which you can attach a bit to, or you can ride without a bit, and I'm happy to set up that bridle in all the different ways if you want to see a video on that. In the middle here is the Dr. Cook's, here on the third hook are the Dr. Cook's and the Dr. Cook knockoff bridle, which actually operates off of leverage. It's, again, not good or evil, it's just how it works. I can show you more. And then at the end I have a couple mechanical hackamores that are of different levels of severity, and a hackamore with the bosal. And bosals, no matter what you heard, are not evil. It's just a leverage type bridle. So you just simply have to know how to use it. Alright, now let's go in a little greater depth. Okay, so let's take a little bit closer look at kind of your very basic bitless bridle. The only other thing I don't have an example of is a Western style side pull. So I'll insert a picture of what one of those looks like. They have some nice features. I just don't happen to own one right now, and my friend was using hers, so I couldn't borrow it, unfortunately. So the other thing you could add to this is just a flat style halter. I've seen people definitely ride with flat style halters, and they just tie the lead rope up or use reins, and that's fine too. These are just three different bridles that I have set up to go bitless. So the first is this rope halter, and I just have, my shadow's in the way, I just have the reins attached to the side cheek here, and these are just clip-on reins. They're the barrel style, and the benefit to using a rope halter is it's a little thinner, so you get a little bit, the horse can feel the pressure more. And here's an example of something that, this is very soft. It has no knots on the nose, and it's pretty soft unless you're picking up, the horse isn't feeling much pressure. But if you have someone who loses their temper and starts jerking on the reins and jerking the horse around, I actually have seen the hair rubbed off a horse's nose. So again, you know, the severity is really the hands that hold the reins, and not the bitless bridle, or the bit for that matter. So yeah, so that's a great way to start. If all you have is a halter, definitely give it a go. Make sure the horse knows how to give to pressure. There's a lot of videos online on how to teach a horse to give to pressure, and it's pretty inexpensive, so you can try that. This is the Bitless bridle my horse goes best in. This is set up just like a side pull. You can buy just the nose piece, and online sometimes you see it referred to as a jumping hackamore, but you can see the rein just attaches to a ring. There's no shank, there's no leverage, so you can operate just on the principle of one rein at a time. And horses will actually go on the bit in a bitless bridle without shanks. And so yes, I often ride my horse in this bridle, and I often take him on the trail in that bridle. He goes really nicely in that. The third option I have, and I attached these lime green endurance reins just because you can kind of see it better, is this is the Rambo Micklem combination bridle. Ooh, can't quite see. Let's see if I can get my shadow out of the frame. Okay, yeah, the Rambo Micklem combination bridle, and this can be set up either bitless or with a bit. I tend to ride in it more as a bitless bridle, and you just attach the throat latch, which is set low like this. It's kind of a funny setup. I can do a how-to on that as well. And then this nose piece, you just buckle down and make sure it's fairly firm. It has the ring on the nose, so you can lunge with it too if you want. And it's padded at the top. It's a monocrown, so it's quite nice. And when you set it up like this, with the reins just through the ring that the noseband attaches to, this is the softest, they call it the softest setup for bitless. There's 3 ways to set this up bitless. And I'm happy to do a video on that too, if you want the different ways to set it up. So you can set it up like that. There's a little chin strap that runs behind that adds a little bit of chin pressure. And then they have another added strap that makes it work like a Dr. Cook's bitless bridle. And we're going to take a look at the Dr. Cook's bitless bridles next. If you have any questions, let me know. Thank you. So these are the Dr. Cook's style bitless bridle. The one on the left is an actual Dr. Cook's that's leather. The one in the middle, I believe, is a Dr. Cook's that's synthetic, but I'm not certain. Excuse me, the one here, the brown one. And then the one at the end, this black bridle, is Dr. Cook's style, but it's Natural Horse is the brand. And it has a couple interesting features, but they all operate the same way. So I'm gonna get in closer so you can see. So these have these cross straps which run behind the horse's jaw, and if you see that this rein pulls on the opposite side, and it's also quite long. So if you see where the reins attach, actually let's look on this one, it'll be easier to see. So the rein attaches at the bottom of this long strap. So when you pick up, if you see how it slides, this is a leverage action. It doesn't mean it's bad, it's not evil. A lot of horses go really nicely in this bridle. I've seen this style bridle used very successfully cross-country and on jumpers and recreation horses. And yeah, a lot of them go very well in it. You attach the nose piece, make sure that's pretty fitted. I can show you in a video if you want to see how to fit one. There's also a number online you can check out. But it does have pull pressure. It has pull pressure, and I would say you want to, first time you put it on, you want to, even if your horse gives to pressure nicely, take a day, and it doesn't have to be a whole day, but stand next to the horse and see how, ask them to give to pressure in this, because it's just set up a little differently. So my horse goes better in the side pull style. I've ridden him in this bridle a few times, and he simply goes better in the other style. So it's not a big deal, but you know, if you want to try one of these, great. But be aware, it does operate off of leverage. So you're going to get pressure at the top of the pole, and then there's pressure under the jaw where the straps go. Pressure doesn't mean evil, it's just pressure, and every horse responds to it differently. So again, I would want to be using one of these once the horse was a little further along. I probably wouldn't start a horse in it. I'm sure there's been horses that were started in it and did great, but me personally, I'd start in either a snaffle or a side pull or a rope halter, and then go to one of these. So that's the Dr. Cook style, and again, it operates off of jaw pressure and pull pressure, and it's stabilized with the noseband. So there you are. All right, last category. So now we're gonna look at actual shanked hackamores. And the one on the end is the Western Bosal. When you actually, Bosal refers to the loop with the knot, and then when it's all together with the reins and the headstall, it's called a hackamore. And if you watch Buck Brannaman or any of the traditional Western riders, and if you look at the making of a bridle horse, you'll see it used as really an art form. So it is, so if you look at the length, and then the tie on the bottom, there's no chin strap, there's no pressure behind the chin groove. And so when you pick up the reins, you get pressure on the pole at the top, and you get pressure on the nose. So those are the two pressure points. Again, you're not supposed to be jerking on it. Your horse is supposed to be soft and operating off the leg and the hand. And the leather on the noseband is kangaroo leather. It's very soft. So again, you want the horse a little bit further along before you ride in a Bosal. It's not meant to be used two-handed. You see people ride it two-handed with light hands, but if your horse needs, a real opening rein, you should still be in the side pull or the snaffle bridle. So my horse goes very nicely in it, so I like to play with that occasionally, and it's a lovely bitless option. So the two bridles in the center, this one, the all black one, and the black bridle that has the brown noseband, are both short shanked mechanical hackamores. Again, you're not supposed to be riding in it like jerking, pulling to the side. That's not the intended purpose. So if you want lightness, then it operates off of you can ride with this shanked hackamore. But again, if you need to get a bend laterally, or then you really want to be riding in a snaffle or a side pull style hackamore. With this style, let me turn it to the side. It has nose pressure and chin pressure, so the strap goes behind the chin. So with any shanked bridle, if it's a bit or a hackamore, anything with a shank has pull pressure. So that's just something to be aware of. So you'll have pressure on the pole and pressure on the nose and pressure on the chin. And then the reins just clip down here. And for the stability of the bridle, you want to make sure you're riding with not a super loose chin. I'm happy to do a video on how to adjust this if you like. So I just bought this one. This is a Zilko. It's neoprene, and I believe it was like $50, something like that. It's the Zilko, hang on. The Zilko S hackamore, and you see these a lot on endurance horses, and you'll see this style hackamore, maybe not this brand, this style hackamore on a whole lot of jumpers. A lot of horses jump very well in them, and there's nothing hard in the nose. So if you see how soft I can bend that, it's very malleable. So that's that. This is my friend's hackamore, similar. And again, severity of a shanked hackamore goes to the length of the shank. I wouldn't go much longer than this. I wouldn't ride in. This is a Springer, so it's stainless steel. It's a lovely, again, it's super soft. There's nothing metal in the nose piece. The difference is this bridle, this hackamore, I think is close to $200 these days. So if you're short on funds, maybe get this one instead of this one. But if you want it beautiful soft leather and you're doing jumpers and this is the look you're going for, then get a Springer or a Steuben. Steuben makes one just as nice. So, and again, I wouldn't go longer than this shank. This is plenty, according to me. This is another mechanical hackamore, and this is a really long shank, just for comparison. If you check it out, look at the difference in length. I don't know. Okay, can't even zoom out all the way. What is it? Another 2 or 3 inches. And then the chin strap is chain. So if you have a flat chain that's doesn't look like this looks like it came off of hardware. If you have a flat chain, fine, but you can also replace this with a leather strap. You might think about that. And then the other reason I'm not a fan of this one is you see the metal in it. So it has metal. So again, if you understand physics, like this is a whole lot of pressure. I don't think you need that. So that's my humble opinion. And that's a little bit on shanked hackamores. And let me know if you have any questions or comments. Thanks.